Have you ever sat down to rest, maybe after a walk, or just a quiet moment on the porch, and then when it's time to get up, your legs don't quite want to cooperate? You press your hands against the chair, you push, and there's this strange heaviness in your thighs, maybe even a little shake in your knees. It wasn't like this a few years ago. You used to get up without even thinking about it. And now? Now it feels like your body is whispering something you're not quite ready to hear. You might chalk it up to aging. It's just what happens when you get older, right? But what if I told you, it might not just be age? What if something sitting quietly in your fruit bowl, or hiding in your breakfast smoothie, was slowly draining your leg strength, day by day? Sounds strange, doesn't it? Because we've always been told fruit is healthy. Eat more fruit, they say. It's natural, it's sweet, it's safe. But the truth is, some fruits are quietly working against your muscles, your balance, and yes, your independence. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. Because once you know better, you can make small changes that protect your legs, your movement, and your freedom. You see, for those of us over 60, strong legs don't just help us walk. They keep us independent, safe, proud. They keep us from relying on walkers or needing help for simple things like standing at the kitchen counter or getting into bed. So today, I'm going to walk you through 7 fruits you should stop eating, or at least cut way back on, because they can slowly chip away at your strength without you even realizing it. And here's the thing, number 6 is something most people think is great for hydration, and number 7 it's probably sitting in your fridge right now. So, stick with me to the end, because this isn't about giving up fruit completely. It's about making smart, senior-savvy choices that support the life you still want to live. Now before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Comment, "Still strong," if you're someone who values your mobility and wants to keep it for as long as possible. And if you're new here, or just quietly listening, go ahead and tap that subscribe button, because here on Elderly Wisdom Guide, we share the real truths about aging with grace, strength, and dignity. Alright, let's uncover the fruits that could be weakening your legs, one bite at a time. Let's start with a fruit that almost everyone over 60 has in their kitchen right now. Bananas. They're soft, easy to chew, rich in potassium, and often the go-to snack when we're feeling a little low on energy. And I get it. They feel like the perfect choice. But here's the part no one tells you. My neighbor Joe, he's 74, used to swear by bananas. He'd have one in the morning, maybe another in the afternoon after his walk. Said it gave him a natural boost. But recently, he started noticing something odd. He'd sit for a while, and when he stood up, his legs felt heavy. Tired. Not the normal kind of tired either, it was more like his muscles just weren't responding the way they used to. Now, Joe thought it was just age catching up. But when he mentioned the bananas to his doctor, the doctor raised an eyebrow. You see, bananas are rich in potassium. And yes, our bodies do need potassium for muscle function and nerve signaling. But here's the kicker. Too much potassium, especially for seniors with slower kidney function, can do more harm than good. When your kidneys don't process potassium as efficiently, it builds up in the bloodstream. And that can lead to muscle fatigue, cramping, and even irregular nerve responses, right in your legs. Now, most people assume bananas are a universal superfood. They're recommended for athletes, kids, dieters, you name it. But what's good for a 25-year-old runner isn't always right for a 70-year-old body. The truth is, too much of a good thing can become a hidden danger. And for seniors, this fruit can be like a wolf in sheep's clothing, friendly on the outside, but quietly draining your leg power day by day. So, what can you do? You don't have to give up bananas entirely. But cut back, aim for half a banana at a time, and pair it with a little protein, like a boiled egg or some Greek yogurt. That combo helps balance the potassium spike and gives your muscles the support they actually need. Now, if that caught you off guard, wait until you hear about this next fruit. It's one people eat to help with heart health, but for seniors, it can interfere with something much more critical. Your medications. Let's talk about grapefruit. That tangy, bitter citrus fruit that so many people eat in the morning thinking they're making a smart, heart-healthy choice. I want to tell you about Ellen, a 72-year-old viewer from Florida who wrote to us not long ago. She had recently switched to what she called a cleaner diet. Less processed food, more fruits, more water. And at the top of her list? Grapefruit. She'd start her day with half a grapefruit every morning, proud of her change. But within a few weeks, she began feeling off. Her legs were sore. She said, "I felt like I'd walked a mile in the night, even though I barely left the house." So, what happened? Well, Ellen is on statins for her cholesterol, like many seniors. And here's the little-known danger: grapefruit contains compounds that interfere with how your body breaks down certain medications. Not just statins, but also some blood pressure meds, anti-anxiety drugs, even medications for arrhythmia. What does that mean for your legs? When grapefruit blocks your body from properly absorbing these drugs, it can lead to too much medication building up in your system. And the result? Muscle weakness, leg cramps, dizziness, even nerve damage over time. Yet people still see grapefruit as a kind of diet fruit. Low in calories, high in vitamin C, what could go wrong? But the truth is, grapefruit can quietly disrupt your entire medication routine. And the scary part? Most people have no idea until symptoms, like weak or shaky legs, start showing up. So, if you're taking any regular medications, especially for the heart or blood pressure, check with your doctor or pharmacist before eating grapefruit or drinking its juice. It's not about fear. It's about staying in control of your body, your strength, and your independence. Now, the next fruit seems innocent. It's sweet, it's natural, and it's often found in small snack packs. But it hides a sugary secret that can quietly inflame your joints and stiffen your muscles. Let's talk about dried fruits. Raisins. Dates. Prunes. Even dried apricots. Martha, a lovely 78-year-old retired schoolteacher, told me she has a habit of snacking on raisins every evening while watching TV. She thought it was a healthier alternative to chips or cookies. But every morning, she'd wake up with tight, aching legs. She figured it was just the cold or maybe arthritis creeping in. But here's the catch. Dried fruits are concentrated sugar bombs. When fruit is dried, the water disappears, but the natural sugar stays, and it becomes even more intense. That spike in sugar can cause inflammation in your muscles and joints. Especially in the legs, which already bear the weight of your body all day. And while inflammation might sound like just a word on a chart, it's one of the top reasons seniors lose flexibility and strength in their legs. Inflamed joints don't move easily. Inflamed muscles don't recover fast. And over time, it just gets worse. Most people think dried fruits are a great snack because they're natural. But natural doesn't always mean harmless, especially when the sugar content rivals that of candy. So, what's the fix? If you love dried fruit, limit your serving to just a tablespoon or two, and always have it with a bit of protein or fat, like almonds or cottage cheese, to soften the sugar impact. Better yet? Reach for fresh fruit when you can. It's gentler on your system and less likely to mess with your muscle recovery. And speaking of fruit in sneaky forms, there's one that's often found in breakfast drinks and hospital trays. But it can quietly rob your legs of hydration and strength. Most people consider it a harmless morning ritual. Orange juice. Yes, even the fresh squeezed kind. Take Harold, for example. He's 76, retired from a long career in carpentry, and sharp as ever. Every morning, he'd pour himself a tall glass of fresh orange juice. He believed it was setting him up for the day: vitamin C, hydration, natural energy. But by early afternoon, he'd feel dizzy, lightheaded, and like his legs had no strength. He said, "It's like the floor suddenly felt a little further away." What Harold didn't realize, and what so many of us don't, is that orange juice is loaded with fructose, the natural sugar found in fruit. But unlike eating a whole orange, juice delivers a concentrated hit of sugar all at once, with none of the fiber to slow it down. What happens next? Your blood sugar spikes fast. Then crashes. And that crash can leave you feeling fatigued, wobbly, and off balance, especially in your legs. It's not just about energy, it's about stability. And for seniors, even a slight dip in blood sugar can throw off coordination and increase the risk of falls. Now, a lot of people confuse juice with the benefits of whole fruit. But drinking juice is not the same as eating fruit. Juice is like stripping away nature's safety features. So, here's a better way: eat the whole orange. You'll still get the vitamin C, but the fiber in the fruit helps keep your blood sugar steady, your energy more stable, and your legs grounded beneath you. But hold on, let's not stop there. Because not all fruits that look healthy actually act healthy in your body. The next one? It's small, colorful, and delicious, but has a hidden side that might leave you dragging your feet in more ways than one. Let's talk about cherries. Now don't get me wrong. Cherries have some benefits, especially for inflammation and sleep. But as with anything, it's about how much, and when. Debbie, a 69-year-old widow who lives just outside Seattle, told us she started eating a big bowl of cherries every night before bed. She read somewhere that they help with sleep, and they do. But after a few weeks, Debbie noticed something strange. She was sleeping longer, sure, but waking up feeling groggy, bloated, and sluggish. Her legs ached in the morning. Her balance felt off. She even skipped her morning walks. Here's what's going on: cherries are high in melatonin, which helps with sleep. But too much melatonin, especially if your body already produces enough, can overshoot the mark, making you feel oversedated the next day. That heavy feeling? It's real. And it can slow down muscle response and alertness. But there's more. Cherries also contain sorbitol, a natural sugar alcohol that can disrupt digestion, especially in older adults. When your gut isn't moving smoothly, it can affect your hydration, your blood pressure, and yes, your leg strength. Now, most people assume all berries are safe across the board. But cherries, when eaten in excess, can actually throw off gut balance and circulation, leading to that subtle but very real leg fatigue. So, what's the move? Don't cut cherries out completely. Just treat them like a dessert, not a nightly habit. A few here and there is fine, but not a whole bowl every single night. And if you thought cherries were sneaky, wait until you hear about this next fruit. Let's move on to something that feels innocent, even helpful: watermelon. There's something about a cold slice of watermelon on a hot day that just feels right, doesn't it? I remember one summer, my uncle, he's in his early 80s, decided to snack on watermelon every single day. He said it was helping him stay hydrated during the heat waves. But then something strange started happening. After his daily walks, he'd come home rubbing his legs, grimacing a little. He'd say, "I don't get it, my legs cramp up after just a few steps now." Now, most people think watermelon is the perfect fruit to fight dehydration. After all, it's made of over 90% water, right? But here's the catch: watermelon has almost no electrolytes. And hydration isn't just about water, it's about balance. When you consume a lot of water-heavy foods like watermelon without enough sodium, potassium, or magnesium, you can dilute your body's electrolyte levels. What does that mean for your legs? Cramping. Fatigue. That sudden weak, wobbly feeling. Especially in older adults, whose kidneys may not regulate fluids and salts as efficiently, this kind of imbalance can sneak up fast. So, if you love watermelon, you don't have to give it up completely. But here's a smart trick. Pair it with a pinch of sea salt, or drink a small glass of electrolyte water alongside it. That way, you're not just pouring in water, you're giving your muscles what they actually need to function. And now, we've come to the last fruit on this list. One that's in almost every kitchen, year-round. It's crunchy, sweet, and has a reputation for being the healthiest fruit on earth. But for some seniors, it's secretly making things worse. Let's talk about apples. Now don't get me wrong. Apples can be wonderful. But for some people, especially as they age, apples come with a hidden price. Take Carol, a 70-year-old retired teacher. Every afternoon, she'd slice up an apple, add a little peanut butter, and settle into her chair for some reading. But she told me that after eating apples, she often felt bloated, gassy, and sore. Her joints ached. Her stomach turned. And her legs felt heavy the next morning. She thought it was aging. Turns out, it was the apples. See, apples contain fructose, the same sugar found in many fruits, but they also have pectin, a type of fiber that's harder to break down for some older digestive systems. As we age, our gut enzymes change. That means foods we digested easily in our 40 or 50 can suddenly cause inflammation, slow down digestion, and even interfere with nutrient absorption. And if your gut isn't absorbing nutrients well, your muscles start to suffer. Especially the large muscle groups, like those in your legs. Now here's the real twist. Most people think, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But as we get older, that's not always true. Especially if your digestion has slowed, or if you're experiencing frequent bloating or cramps afterward. So, what can you do? Try peeling the apple first, that reduces the pectin load. Or bake your apples, softening them makes them easier on the gut. And if you're still not sure, try switching to lower fructose fruits like blueberries or kiwi. Now, I know what you might be thinking. These are the fruits I've eaten for years. If they're not safe, what do I eat instead? Let's talk about that next. Because making better choices doesn't mean giving up fruit altogether. It just means being smart about what works for your body now. I know. It's hard to accept that something as simple, as comforting, as familiar as fruit could be holding you back. Fruit is supposed to help you. You've likely eaten bananas, apples, and oranges your whole life. They're colorful, sweet, easy to grab, and everyone told us they were the healthiest choices. So, when you hear that those very fruits might be weakening your legs, making it harder to move freely, or disrupting your balance, it can feel like your body's turning against you. Like the rules suddenly changed, and no one told you. Maybe you've felt it already. The heaviness in your legs when you get out of bed. The way your knees feel unstable on stairs. Or that strange ache after a walk that used to leave you energized. It can feel scary. Frustrating. Even unfair. But I want you to pause here, and hear me loud and clear. You are not powerless. This isn't about giving up foods you love forever. And it's certainly not about fear. This is about awareness. It's about learning what your body needs now, not 20 years ago. Because the truth is, your body changes, and so should the way you feed it. After 60, your muscles rely more than ever on the right nutrients, the right hydration, the right fuel to keep going strong. And that starts with choices. Small ones. Like choosing a handful of avocado over sugary dried fruits. Or replacing your morning orange juice with a glass of water and a boiled egg. Or maybe peeling your apple, or skipping the cherries before bed. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be drastic. Just one small change. One thoughtful swap. One new habit. Because every little decision you make adds up, to stronger legs, better balance, and more independence. And here's the best part. You're not doing this alone. There's a whole community, right here, of people who care about aging well, about protecting their bodies, about living fully and independently for as long as possible. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're learning. And with every step, you're taking back control. Remember, aging isn't about decline, it's about adaptation. It's about listening to your body, honoring its changes, and supporting it with wisdom. So, take a deep breath. Know that you're on the right path. And hold on to this truth, you're still strong. And with the right choices, you'll stay that way. Let's take a quick moment to go over what we've learned today. The 7 fruits you should be especially cautious with after 60 are: bananas, which can overload your system with potassium and lead to muscle fatigue. Grapefruit, which can dangerously interfere with common medications, especially statins. Dried fruits like raisins, prunes, and dates, packed with concentrated sugars that trigger inflammation. Orange juice, even the fresh kind, loaded with fructose that can crash your blood sugar and weaken your legs. Cherries, surprising to many, but the sorbitol and melatonin can slow your system more than you think. Watermelon, hydrating but lacking electrolytes, it can actually cause cramps if eaten in excess. And finally, apples, often seen as the golden fruit, but high in pectin and fructose that can stir up gut inflammation and reduce nutrient absorption. It doesn't mean you have to eliminate these completely. But now, you know to approach them wisely. So, tell me, which of these surprised you the most? Or maybe you've already been avoiding one of them without even realizing why. Drop a comment below and share your experience. I read every single one. And trust me, when you speak up, someone else learns. That's how we grow stronger, together. And if this video opened your eyes, even just a little. If you felt that light bulb go off in your mind. If you felt seen, understood, and guided. Then take a second right now to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide. Because this channel isn't about fear. It's not about trends or fads. It's about truth, clarity, and compassion, for your body, your health, and your journey through aging. We're building something beautiful here. A space where aging is met with dignity, not defeat. Where you gain knowledge, not confusion. Where you walk forward, not backward. So hit that subscribe button. Click the like button if this helped you. And most importantly, stay connected. Because you are stronger than you think. You are wiser than you know. And your health journey is far from over. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Stay strong, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next video, right here on Elderly Wisdom Guide.